Happy Thursday and welcome. Glad you're with me. No, I really am. I'm glad you're with me. Glad you take a moment to watch this little video, and I hope it's something that brightens your day. I'm really glad that you take the time for it. So, come on into my little world for just a moment. You know, a couple of days ago I shared with you the thought that my grandfather shared about his love for my grandmother and how it grew more every day. And I had a lot more to say, but I thought I don't really need to say it all in one little video. But it struck me that quite often our lives are a progression of growth. Most things in our lives grow as we develop. I was thinking about the words of the Apostle Paul as he wrote to the church in Corinth, and that 2 Corinthian letter, when he wrote in verse 18 of chapter 3, "But we all with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord." I like that phrase, being transformed from glory to glory, more and more and more as time goes by. And then he talks about beholding in a mirror. Few of us don't take time to look in a mirror. We stop, we look, fix the hair, or smooth ourselves down, or just pause and go, ugh, whoa, something like that. Seriously, we take time, we look in the mirror, we want to see how we look. Maybe we turn sideways and just make sure, everything's in place, got to look. Is there something hanging on my back? No one's come and hung one of those signs on your back that says kick me or something like that. Anyway, we pause and we look. And sometimes we notice the differences. When we're young, we long to look older. When we're older, we long to look younger. But we do. We stop and we look and we see the changes that are taking place in us over time. Maybe some of them are slow enough that we don't notice them readily, but over time, you begin to say, where did that line come from? Oh, wow. Boy, that hair is not the color it used to be, is it? There are a lot of things like that we go along, but I think about the progression of our lives and the ways in which we grow and we develop. I was thinking about that little song, pretty little song that came out, back in the late 60s and early 70s, was a time in which there was kind of a movement. And there were a couple of rock operas that were pretty strong in the time, and one of them by the name of Godspell had a couple of songs in it that were pretty neat songs, not advocating the rock opera itself. But the thought in one of them, day by day, you know the one? You know what I'm talking about. For in it states that threefold growth. To love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, to see thee more clearly, to follow thee more nearly, to love thee more dearly. I didn't get it right in a minute. I had to stop and think about it. I don't have it written down here, so I'm just sharing it with you offhand. And I thought, isn't that a great thought? For while we are young, we have an idealized idea of what it means to be something, or even if we're trying to be a follower of Christ, to be that follower of Christ, what that really means. And for some, it means going to church once in a while, showing up there, making sure you go through the routines that are there. But as time progresses, we begin to realize it's far more than that. It's the depth of my life. It's kind of like growing up in a home, and when you're growing up and your mother is telling you to do certain jobs and you do them, make your bed, sweep your floor, wash the dishes, whatever it might be, while she sits on the couch and eats bonbons and watches a soap opera. No, that didn't happen. But maybe you even recognize, say, well, this is what it takes to be in the family. I got to wash the dishes, make the bed, and sweep the floor. But over time, you realize it's just part of who we are. It becomes the nature of who we are, and it's a growing comprehension and appreciation of what we have. Suddenly, you begin to like the clean floor and the made bed. You like the clean dishes, not piled in the sink. Yeah, if that's your thing. There may be many others. It's kind of like going to work. As Dave Ramsey says, you do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. I kind of like that, don't you? As we grow and develop. And here he talks about being transformed, growing from glory to glory, more and more in the image of Christ. To love him more dearly, to follow him more nearly. Those are progressive statements. Our appreciation of him, to see him reflected in us, to know him more fully. All of those things are a progression of life, and it doesn't happen by accident. It happens on a determined purpose. When you ask yourself that question in life and say, what kind of person do I really want to be? And you look at the examples of people around you and you find the best among them and said, that's who I want to be like. And hopefully we look at Jesus and we say, yes, I want to be like him. You may remember years ago the advertising campaign, I want to be like Mike. Back when Michael Jordan was at the height of his basketball career and outstanding as he was, but the idea, I want to be like Mike. I really don't want to be like Mike. Not that he doesn't have some good qualities in his life, I'm sure, and love to be able to play basketball like him. Not going to happen. But you find the character of person. You say, I want to be like that. And maybe it's a conglomeration of many, but it doesn't happen by accident. You see them and you say, I want to have that in my life. I want to have that in my life. To see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day. You know, Jesus, in Luke's account of calling followers, said, if you would come after me, you got to take up your cross and follow me. And some of the translations put in the word, inferred or not, daily. And that's exactly right, isn't it? It's a day by day, as the song says, day by day. Day by day. The love, the following, the closeness. It's all about a daily progression. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to look at your life, and maybe in your prayers today, whatever it may be, whether you're on your knees, sitting in your chair, sitting at the table, reading your Bible, getting ready to eat your meal, I want you to say something to the effect of, Lord, help me to be this person, because that's what I want to be. And maybe the words of the song and the threefold application might come to mind. See thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and I hope tomorrow is even better than today. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are having a great day today, and we'll share some more in the coming days. But really, got to tell you, I'm glad you joined me today in my little world.